Can I have everyone's attention? We're going to do just a couple of things before. Uh, Pam, could we maybe get you all to stand up in the front here? And is there anyone with a camera that can take a picture of them? Well, look at y'all. We got everybody here. Thank you, and thank y'all for all you do. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Let the record show that it is 6 p.m. and the regular session of the February the 11th, 2020 Durant City Council meeting is now in session. Would everybody please stand while our Assistant City Manager, James Dunnigan, oh my gosh, I'm going to get killed for that. James Dalton leads us in the flag salute, or the prayer. I got it all screwed up today. James, where are you? Okay, if you will lead us in the prayer, James. Amen. Thank you, James. Please remain standing while Councilman Morris leads in the flag salute.
Will you join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Thank you. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Shear,
Here.
Councilmember Tomlinson,
Here.
Councilmember Morris,
Here.
Vice Mayor Brittingham,
Here.
Mayor Groby.
Here, we have a quorum. We are all present. We have, in our order of business, number one, we have a presentation that I think will be very interesting. We are having the retirement of Police K-9 Barron.
Everybody hear me okay? Did it come on? You gotta hold it in for a minute, the button.
How about now? Yes,
Got
that's absolutely. Well, Jesse, this is a tremendous day. It's a good day for the department. Kind of bittersweet. It always is when we have a retirement. For those in the audience, this is the first time we've ever had a K-9 retirement. We've had some K-9s in the department, and in the past when they've retired, we've just kind of let them retire out of service without any recognition. This is the first time that we've actually been able to have a formal retirement for one of our K-9 partners, our K-9 family, if you will. And I'd like to read something about Barron that Jesse helped me put together. And I want to turn it over to Jesse. I think he's got some comments as well. The Durant Police Department implemented a K-9 program in 1992 with handler Wayne Timberlake with a lab retriever mix named Ambush. Since that time, the city of Durant's employed 8 K-9s. Today, we want to recognize one of those dogs and announce his retirement from the Durant Police Department. Barron, if you'll start that slideshow for me. K-9 Barron is a 12-year-old Slovakian German Shepherd. He began his career with the Durant Police Department July of 2008. A mere pup, and has served the citizens his entire life. Barron spent his entire career with his partner, Lieutenant Jesse Petty. Barron is a dual-purpose police service dog trained in both narcotics detection and patrol duties to include criminal apprehension. Over the past 12 years, Barron's contributed to many drug arrests while on patrol, as well as assisted Durant Police Narcotics Division and other surrounding agencies in traffic situations and narcotic situations as well. Barron's assisted patrol in building searches and arrests of wanted persons. He's proved to be an invaluable public relations ambassador for the Durant Public School System, accompanying Lieutenant Petty on many occasions to speak with children about police profession. You can see some of those photos in the slideshow. One of Barron's most notable assignments includes in 2015 the protection detail of a sitting United States president that came to Durant. Overall, Barron maintains pretty good health and hopefully should enjoy that health into his retirement. The decision for retirement is basically due to his age. For those of you who don't know, a 6-year sitting K-9 is pretty good. Barron's done 12, twice that. So probably some of that has to do with him starting as a pup instead of an older, 1, 2-year-old dog. But he's served the citizens of Durant well. So Barron, congratulations. Now, he doesn't like loud clapping, so if you would please smile real big for him. But Deputy Chief Joe Clark and I also have a gift for Barron. Deputy Chief? Hopefully, Barron, this will take you well into your retirement. Jesse, there is a ball in there. He's going. So he's an intelligent dog as well. Go for the food, not the ball. Barron, congratulations. I would like to turn the microphone over to Jesse Petty. He has got a story about some of the exploits that him and Barron has involved in. I think it'll touch your hearts. Jesse?
I can probably speak loud enough without it. So, probably the most memorable story I have with him, and I've got a few, but I won't waste all your time with it tonight, is obviously we use police dogs for their sense of smell and their ability to do things that us as humans can't do. My oldest had just started school, and we were on night shift, and I happened to have found an open door at a school that my daughter went to school at. It was very early on in the year, and I didn't know the exact location of her classroom. So we went in this large public school, and this dog went down and would check off on basically every classroom side to side, and I would maintain security in the hallway while he went to each room and checked it for me and came back out to make sure there was nobody inside. This went on for several minutes, several rooms, to the point where he wouldn't come back out of a room, and he started kind of indicating for me. So I went back into that room where he wouldn't leave, and when I went into the room, entered it, he was seated next to a chair that I had no idea who that chair belonged to until I got close enough and could actually see my daughter's name written on the desk of that chair, and that's why he wouldn't leave that room. We didn't find anybody in there, but it was just an example of the extraordinary ability these dogs have. But I want to appreciate or tell thanks to the city and the police department. This is the second dog I've handled, and I've experienced a lot of neat things with handling dogs, and I guess he's ready to retire. Spend some time at home with my wife and 2 girls there.
Absolutely. The next step of a retirement of this dog, our policy allows it to, the handler to adopt the dog. That way it goes to a decent home, in this case, a very good home. So Jesse, what you'll find there on the table is adoption paperwork. And Jesse, if you'll accept, you and your family, you'll want to come on up? If you guys will accept the adoption of Barron, requires your signature on this line, and then subsequent approval by the council, if you guys are okay with that, and the consent item as well. Thank you all for indulging us in the retirement, the first retirement of Canine Barron.
Job well done.
We scared to clap, so thank you.
Job well done.
Our second item on our agenda are our consent items. They're numbers A through F. These items can be approved as a whole, or any council member can pull one out for discussion and vote separately. Does anyone wish to pull any of the consent items out? Or if not, do you want anyone wish to make a motion to accept them?
I'd like to pull item number D, 2D.
Did you say 2B?
D is in Delta.
Any other?
Move approval of the consent docket 2A, B, C, D. Oops, I'm sorry. A, B, C, E, and F, with a special thanks to the Chief, Officer Petty, and Canine Barron on item number E. Move approval of the docket.
Okay, that would leave A, B, C, E, F to be voted on. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second for items A, B, C, E, F. Would the clerk please record the vote?
Councilmember Shear,
Yes.
Councilmember Tomlinson,
Aye.
Councilmember Morris,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brittingham,
Aye.
Mayor Groby.
Aye. Consent items are approved with the exception of D, which we will now go back to. D is consider approval to declare building located at 320 Country Club Road surplus and approve demolition.
I really have some questions for not only, I guess, the chief, but city manager too. It's probably been, 6, 7 years ago or so when we purchased that property's, the old country club and that facility that sits on the country club, or that old country club property. Help me remember the discussion as far as, I'm a little surprised, I guess, that it's in the condition it's in. And, 'cause I think there was discussion, a few years ago that it could be utilized for, but we're talking about tearing it down, right?
Absolutely, and I think your memory does serve you correctly. It had been talked about, I know at times it was discussed about letting some of the unions, use it as a clubhouse. At that point, when the city first purchased it, that never come to fruition. I don't know what else has been discussed as far as its utilization. It's been abandoned, well, ever since the city bought it. And you are correct, we've attached some pictures here, and it is in very poor shape. We have had meetings with the community development and the public works as well, and I think it's the general consensus that it's excess at this point, and the recommendation is to have it torn down.
And as I read that, I think, or as I read it, you can maybe still utilize the pad, the existing pad, concrete pad.
It is possible. It's been noted as a possible location for to relocate the animal shelter there. And if that is the case, if that turns out to be true and economically feasible and the right thing to do, as far as the city is concerned, we could probably use that concrete pad. Probably not in its existing shape. It'd probably have to have some modifications to it, but it'd be a savings. That way you wouldn't have to pour more concrete. But that's definitely a decision that would have to be made in the future. But it is being considered.
And I know, city manager, that we've had discussions and on the, a new facility, animal shelter facility. Do you think that would be the best use of this location?
It's not discussed right now.
Well, this,
We have it in-
this action is really about the building, not the use of the animal shelter, but I do think that there's possible other locations for an animal shelter.
But I guess, okay, so then the demolition is actually what we're approving?
Yes, sir, that is correct. It is in really bad shape.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely. Will that include the little building beside it where the golf carts were, the metal building, or?
That it was, I don't even know if that building is still standing currently.
It's barely standing.
Barely standing?
Yeah, that,
The only one that I had intended when I created the memo was the structure at 320, which would have been the old clubhouse.
Okay. Thank you. Is there any further discussion on item D?
Well, I guess maybe one more follow-up question would, then, potentially if indeed it becomes comes to fruition as far as an animal shelter, location, facility, that would that come back before us?
yes, sir, yes, sir.
I don't have any other questions.
Do I have a motion?
I move we approve the motion to demo the old country club building.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would the clerk please record the vote?
Councilmember Shear,
Aye.
Councilmember Tomlinson,
Aye.
Councilmember Morris,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brittingham,
Aye.
Mayor Groby.
Aye, motion carries. Information items, if anyone has any questions about any of the information items, you may speak at this time about these. If not,
I have one comment. Is Robbie here? The library?
She has a function at the library tonight.
Okay.
She emailed and said she wasn't going to be
I'd just like to compliment Robbie, the library, and the city, and the ARP people for providing the tax-free tax preparation, free tax preparation service located at our library. That's a big service, means a lot to a lot of people. I don't know that we've ever figured up the dollars that it saves seniors and others that can utilize that, but we've been doing that annually, I think, for a few years, particularly since we opened our new library. But I just wanted to comment and thank her and the city. And Michael, you might check with her, but it might be good for some press on that.
we'll now move to number 5, administration. Number A, consider approval of citizen appointment to the Utility Account Appeals Board pursuant to Resolution 2020-01.
Flip that the right way.
Okay,
At the last meeting, y'all approved a resolution which established a procedure for determining delinquent accounts. And so it calls for you to appoint one person to that board. And so my recommendation would be somebody that lives in a rural water district. So,
I think we have one council member who lives in Rural Water 2 District, Councilman Morris. So I would appoint Councilman Morris to serve on the board as since he's a member or lives in District 2. I make a motion.
second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Would the clerk please record the vote?
Councilmember Shear,
Aye.
Councilmember Tomlinson,
Aye.
Councilmember Morris,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brittingham,
Aye.
Mayor Groby.
Aye. Motion carries. Councilman Morris, you will be on that committee. Congratulations, board, I think, yeah. Number B, consider award of bid for City Hall roof repairs, Phase 2.
I can start to speak to that, and then James Dalton is here who can speak a little more to it. We did the usual advertising for our bids, and it was published twice in the Durant Democrat, and it was on our city website 24/7 up until the time that the bids were opened. We had 2 bids, and you'll see on the bid tab sheet there, and one of the bidders was disqualified because they did not have a commercial license. And do you want to take it from there,
Sure,
James?
yes.
Okay.
Again, like Cindy said, we had 2 bidders. One of them didn't have the license necessary for the commercial install, therefore it would affect the possibility of our warranty down the road, and we didn't want to take that opportunity. The other bid was by Ferguson Roofing Systems of $59,795. We want to recommend to take that. One of the reasons we're doing that is that will allow us to have completed roofing projects in the entire building. We just recently finished the old admin area with a new TPO roof on that, and unfortunately we've got to test it these last few days and have no leaks, so that's a good thing. But the other reason with Ferguson, one thing that we really like about it is it has a 20-year warranty on the material that is going to go on the roof and a lifetime warranty on the labor. So we think that is not a Band-Aid, but a fix that we can have for some longevity here. So now also, OMAG has given us, and we already have the check for $41,930.31 due to some damage that was on the roof from hail and other things. They are holding back $10,925.15 until we complete the project. So overall, we will be receiving almost $52,000 in insurance money for that.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. James?
Move approval of the City Hall roof repair Phase 2 bid by,
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Will the clerk please record the vote?
Councilmember Shear,
Aye.
Councilmember Tomlinson.
Aye.
Councilmember Morris,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brittingham,
Aye.
Mayor Groby.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, James.
Mhm.
Number C, under administration, consider approval of memorandum of agreement C-2020-02 with the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma to cooperate in a project located on Big Lots Parkway. Mr. Marty.
So I brought for you today a memorandum of agreement with Choctaw Nation. They are building a child care center on trust land on the south side of Big Lots. If you look at the picture on the screen, I've overlaid the drawing on a Google Earth map to give you size, representation, and location. If you'll look, okay, so right now to the left is south, and if you'll see the roadway running north and south, or running east and west there, that's the bypass. Big Lots, and then the Choctaw Complex that's right across the street. So to give you some idea of where the layout is going to be. There's going to be some minor work that they're going to be doing along and at the edges of our roadway. There may be some road widening as this procedure continues. There's going to be some water line elevation changes. There's going to be the possibility of a future stoplight at the intersection that I have circled. That's why I've circled that in red. Not the one closest to South 9th, but the one farthest away. At this point, that is not in their project, but they've put that in this agreement in case their project changes scope and they decide they need that. Now, all of the work they will do to ODOT standards, to our standards, and then they will completely pay for everything they do and then give that infrastructure back to us as something that we're going to own. I'd happily entertain any questions you might have about this MOA.
so, but there is one new set of traffic signals, right?
No, right now, there's actually no traffic signals in the plan,
Okay, I see.
but there could be one
Potentially
set.
Potentially one
Yeah,
set.
at that primary entrance to their facility, which is the westernmost entrance that is circled on that map. Is everybody following the orientation of that map? Okay. I tried to overlay that in a way it gave you, scope and perspective.
Are there any other questions for Marty?
Move approval of C-2020-02 with the Choctaw Nation.
We have a motion.
I second.
We have a second. Would the clerk please record the vote?
Councilmember Shear,
Aye.
Councilmember Tomlinson,
Aye.
Councilmember Morris,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brittingham,
Aye.
Mayor Groby.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. Item D, there will be no action. Number 6 will be public hearings. We now enter into the public hearing section of our meeting. Number A would be consideration, and I guess we should approve moving into, no. Okay. Okay. Number A, under public hearings, consideration PC 2020-02, a conditional use permit and preliminary plat for property located at 176 Kale Switch Road. Ms. Danielle.
Good evening. Yes, this is for a conditional use permit and a preliminary plat. It's for the First Nazarene Church of Durant. They are wanting to essentially, they have a piece of property, there's a PowerPoint in there too, but they're wanting to have there's a 20-acre piece of property they have. They're wanting to split that into two 10-acre portions. The northern portion will be where the church would be located. The only public improvement that we'll be looking at is a street. That'll be there. There's some drawings in here too that'll show that. But that's pretty much what they're wanting to do right now. The CUP it's where, because churches are allowed in any zoning district, but they have to go through the CUP process. So that's kind of why we have the CUP, and then obviously with it being a vacant piece of property, they'll have to do the preliminary plat with the road that they're wanting to construct. The Planning Commission did recommend this at their last meeting unanimously, so there was no comment or anything. The only thing that changed from the time that the report was initially made to current was that the church initially wanted to have a smaller parking spot size. However, at the Planning Commission meeting, the church and the Planning Commission both agreed to have it just where everything will meet city ordinances. So the building and everything else will meet city ordinances, parking lot size now. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Is there anyone here who wishes to speak on this consideration for this permit? Is there any other questions, comments? Do you wish to speak on this, sir? Please come forward.
My name is Brent Smith, and I'm the pastor at the First Church of Nazarene, and really just wanted to thank you for your consideration and all the hard work that you do here, and we're excited about the future of the church and also being here in the city of Durant, and thank you again, and I can answer any questions, and if I can't answer them, then I'll get the answer, so thank you
Does
very
anyone
much.
have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Are there any other comments? Are there any other comments? 3 times. Do I hear a motion? That part and then go to the next one. Okay. We'll close this part of the public hearing and let's go for the vote. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve PC 2020-02, conditional use permit and preliminary plat for the property located at 1716 Kell Switch Road.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Would the clerk please record the vote?
Councilmember Shear,
Aye.
Councilmember Tomlinson.
Aye.
Councilmember Morris,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brittingham,
Aye.
Mayor Groby.
Aye. Motion carries. We are still in the public hearing section, and our next item on public hearing is number B, public hearing on Resolution 2020-05, amending landfill rates.
Yes, ma'am. We have looked at the landfill rates, and what we're recommending is that we reduce the landfill rates for residents of the city of Durant from $37.95 to $30 per ton. And this resolution also solidifies the once per month dump for residents of the city, free of charge. And it changes the rate for those persons not residing in the city from the current $37.95 to $45 per ton, with a minimum charge of $25. And commercial users will pay that same rate of $45 per ton, which is currently the $37.95.
Does anyone else wish to speak? Are there any other questions? Are there any other questions? One more time, any other questions? This public hearing is closed. We'll call for the vote or call for the motion.
I move we approve resolution 2020-05 for amending landfill rates.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would the clerk please record the vote?
Councilmember Shear,
Aye.
Councilmember Tomlinson.
Aye.
Councilmember Morris,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brittingham,
Aye.
Mayor Groby.
Aye, motion carries. This concludes our public hearing. The next item on our agenda are citizen comments on non-agenda items. We have one citizen. Would you please come forward, please? Oh, okay. We have no comments then under that.
Roger, did you change your mind?
Okay. Thank you. Number 8, executive session. We have 1, 2. We have several items on executive session, under executive session. So at this time, we will leave the regular meeting and go into executive session.
Madam Mayor, may I make an announcement before
Yes.
we go into executive session? There was a Scrivener's error. It was my fault on executive session item CH. The name of the case was correct, but the case number that was in parentheses was incorrect. It should read CV 19-60. So that's a Scrivener's error, but I just wanted to make that known that the case name is correct, but the case number was incorrect.
We need a motion to go into executive session.
Yep.
Did you say CJ?
CV
V is
as
in
in
Victor?
Victor? Yes.
Okay, at this time, we will enter into executive session.
You'll need a motion to recess.
Oh, I
into
have,
exec-
yes, we had better have a motion. Okay, give me a motion, someone.
I move to approve, or make a motion, I'd like to move to approve, we leave, but I make a motion that we enter executive session.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Would the clerk please record the vote?
Councilmember Shear,
Yes.
Councilmember Tomlinson,
Aye.
Councilmember Morris,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brittingham,
Aye.
Mayor Groby.
Aye, we're now in
Mayor?
executive session.
Mayor, I do want to, if we can tell people watching on live stream, there will be an interruption in this until we come back, but we will come back.
Okay, and are we still gonna have to have it in the other room?
Mhm.
Not the regular room? Did everybody get that? We're gonna have it in the